G'day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's that time of the week. It's that time of the year. It's a preview review. We've got the man. They couldn't shoot. They couldn't boot. It's the great man himself, Dougie Hawkins.
Good on you, Paul. Buddy, that is a big rap, Paul. Let me tell you. And I tell you, can I just do this?
Thanks,
woof,
Dougie.
Woof, 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 Matty. Good on you. Woof, woof. Who let the dogs out, Paul? Who let the dogs out, Matty?
Oh, how good is it? We're all barking, Dougie, that's for sure. We're on fire. And isn't it funny? Just a few short months ago, we had people in the media saying we're going to be the biggest sliders of the year. And particularly with our draw and the injuries that sort of kicked in and Bevo's contract, he was out the door, according to some of our great mates in the media. But my God, it's turned around.
Does he, Paul, Matty, let me chuck this at you blokes. Does he re-sign? Do we re-sign Bevo on the way he's coaching so far this year? He's been absolutely outstanding, hasn't he? Do we re-sign him?
They're talking about the break, aren't they, that they're going to do the deal with him? Get it out of the way, I think. Get out of the speculation. Get it done. That's my thoughts.
For me, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't sign him yesterday. Why would you delay? You've got the man in the hot seat. He can do the job. Just knock it over so we can get on with just talking about footy, and he can get on with coaching. So yeah, absolutely sign him.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, Paul. Matty, when I say a tricky one, 10 years now. 10 years, 2 grand finals, 1 winning, 1 losing one. The way the group is playing now, individually and as a team, you got to take your head off to Bevo. He's coaching as good as he's ever coached. His moves, his rotations, and what we are watching, you, Paul, Matty and me, and all the Footscray Western Bulldogs members, supporters are watching, you know what, they're all playing for him. They're playing for him. And you can see that. You can see that they're playing for him and playing for each other. So this has really got, this group really has, Paul, Matty, they really have, I think, got 216 about them, that winning grand final. And what they did in 216, that group under Bevo, I call it a miracle, because you can't play that way. You can't do that again. But this group just looks like that everyone does their job. When it's their turn to step up or do something for their teammate, they do it. There don't seem to be any hassles or any issues or problems between the playing group. They're all on the same page. Mate, it's fantastic. It is just, they're looking absolutely sensational. They're red hot. And I'll say it again, Matty and Paul, they are all individually doing their job.
Yeah, that's a good. And look, Dougie, I think, like you said, I think some of those players are repaying Bevo for the faith he put in them. Like Vandermeer, West, Buku, McNeil. I mean, he's put a lot of faith in those players over recent years. And those sort of players are growing. They're prospering. They're filling in that Waitman vacancy there. And he's also got this great team. So he's probably thinking, I reckon this team can make it. It can win. I reckon this team can take the cup. And he's probably got, 2 years? He's got Libber and he's got Bonts a bit longer and Treloar. So he's probably thinking, what would you give him, Dougie? Another year? Would he want another 2?
Well, Paul, Matty, I'd probably go 2-3. I would do that. Paul, you know, again, I at the start of this year sort of questioned Bevo and the club letting McRae and Daniel go. You know, 2 great Bulldogs, I think 2 premiership players for that 216. I reckon they both played in that. I questioned it, but gee whiz, hasn't that Kennedy and obviously Richards has gone to another level, and the boy from Melbourne, Harms as well. And you mentioned Vandermeer, number 23, I think it is. Frazier, number 27, he's gone to another level. We haven't even got Treloar playing yet. You know, and you got the Bont and Libber running around. I may have said, well, Ed Richards was just, I think he'd re-signed for 3 or 4 years. He'd be only 20. How old is he? 25, 26? He wouldn't be much older than that, would he?
I think he's 24.
24, is he? Oh,
24, and they did him for 5 years, Dougie. And the other one is Riley Sanders. I watched him very closely on the weekend. He's got a bit of pace about him now. That speed, he's obviously worked off it off season, but he's a bit leaner and he's a little bit quicker, and that makes a lot of difference, I think.
He does, Paul. That number 9, yeah. He looks like his kicking's got a little bit better. I thought he struggled with his kicking 12 months ago. I think that certainly has improved. I forgot to mention him. He's been very, very good. And you mentioned the bloke, Paul, that you know, Matty, and everybody knows that I've always been a very good rap for this kid. The son of one of the greats, Scotty West. Rolly West is just going to another level. I'd love to see Cody Waitman play. I mean, the kid's a gun. I got a stack of time for Cody Waitman. I think the kid's a real good player. He doesn't look like he will play again this year. Is that right, Matty or Paul?
So Bevo came out in the press conference post-match against Essendon and said they're pretty much drawing a line through his name for the year because he's got to go back in for surgery. So we're very, very unlikely to see Cody back, which is, so sad because, if we are to go all the way or really deep, he's the sort of player that you just can imagine this thriving in September.
But I'm just hoping that for this kid's sake, I mean, he'd be only in his 22, 23, I don't know if he's even older than 22. Mate, he can play number 3. You don't get number 3 given to you of the great E.J. Whitten and the great Chris Grant. You don't get number 3 given to you, and there's probably 2 or 3 more champions before their time and before our time who wore number 3. So the kid certainly has shown that he can play. We all know he can play. With his absence, as I say, young Weston, and with Jamara out of that side too, boys. I mean, and we hope and wish him all the very best for his own health and get that back on track and all that sort of stuff. But gee whiz, that forward line stuff with him out, and that releases a little bit of money because as I said, Matty and Paul, I don't think Jamara will play again for the Bulldogs. There could be 800, 900. Well, you know what? We got the bread. Let's go get the butter. Did I say butters? Did I say sack butters then? Did I say the bread? We get the butter? Better?
How long have you been thinking on that one for?
I just made that up. Paul, I'm very clever.
Hey, Dougie, can I ask you a question, mate? Can I ask you a question? Matty, if you don't mind. Hey, mate, players have to build a sort of brand, don't they? I mean, you had a brand, the good players or the players that have longevity without necessarily being superstars create a brand. And I love the brand that Westy has. A couple of years ago, I thought he's not fast, he can't jump, he's not a great kick, and somehow he's created a brand, a style of football, obviously assisted by those around him and the style of game, the structure of the game. But he is just so confident. He just knows when to kick it. He just knows his game so well. That moment where he just absolutely gave the don't argue and just kicked it and walked past him and did his little buzz. I don't know what he did. It was very amusing, but. Tell me about that branding and belief that can elevate a player from being average to being very good.
Paul, it's a combination of just a couple of things, and I think it's he's now played how many games now? You reckon, boys? 50, 40?
60.
Yeah, and consistently now in the side. Like you remember a couple of years ago, he had played 2 or 3, and then Bevo dropped him, and he was out of the side because of the boy Waitman and other players playing in that forward line. So he was sort of wishy-washy. He was in and out a lot, and he was young. And you didn't have that confidence in yourself. You start losing a little bit of confidence when you're in and out of the senior side. But now, because of the way that he's played and the way that he's stepped up and with games behind himself, he's just grown with confidence. And you can see the way you mentioned that, Paul, when he just strutted around, pushed the bloke off, and went like that, and. And he just looks like now he believes that he belongs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's now believing he belongs in this side, and he believes that he's a good player in this side, and he's playing.
He's almost got that arrogance. He's almost got that arrogance. And I remember a commentator on the ABC one day says, eventually one day you say to yourself, whether it's played, and Matty, you mentioned about playing 60 or 70 games. That you actually stand, you go, I belong here. I belong out here. I've earned the right. And you're dead right. I think Vandermeer's a bit similar, I think. But blokes like Fraser and those sort of blokes come on a bit earlier than that sometimes. I think Riley Sanders is starting to feel that way at the moment. There was a lot of pressure on him in the early days to be some sort of superstar going at number 4 in the draft. But he's just coasting behind a bit like in a peloton on a bike. He's just sitting in that 6th position just going, I'll let you guys do all the hard work and I'm just going to comfortably play my game and develop it.
Yeah, you're right, Paul and Matty, and then we're looking at the Geelong game coming up. I was thinking about Libba going to Bailey Smith. I'd throw Vandermeer. I'd take Vandermeer. I'd say 23. You go to him and you annoy him, attack him, harass him, mate. He would be sensational. He's got more leg speed over the journey than Libba. Libba would be okay, fine early, But Smith's a running machine, boys. We know that he's a running machine. He's in good touch. He's in good form. I'd chuck Vandermeer 23 at him, Paul. How's that, Matty? That's what I'd do.
What do you think, Matty?
Oh, look, I love that. Vandermeer has become one of those chief agitators, hasn't he? And it was really curious in the news this week that Kane Cornes came out and said he's the most disliked player in the AFL.
That's what he said.
Most disliked. So,
Gee, that's a bit unfair.
Well, I would have thought so, but would you wear that as a badge of honor? Like, is it because Paul and I sort of spoke about this? It's not hated, it's disliked, and you're disliked when you're doing something that's getting under the skin. And I reckon if I was Leif, I'd be saying, do you know what? This is my brand. I'm coming at you, Bailey.
Yeah, no, good point, Matty. Good point. Kane Cornes said that. Cornes said that about young Vandermeer. No, I like Vandermeer, and not just to go and annoy him and that, but to run off him and play off him and create your own footy, because this kid Vandermeer, he's gone into another level, the young fella, and I think he's really believing himself too, Paul. He's the same as young West. They're starting to play a few games together. And then on the other hand, the other boy, number 18, in the back line, the boy, the cricket bloke, O'Donnell, he's stepped up. And the other bloke who I've always, we don't need to talk about Lobby because Lobby's been in really good touch. The other bloke's number 44, the ruckman. I've been really up and down about this boy, Tim English. I reckon, he has been nothing in between. He's either good or he's bad. His last probably 4 or 5 weeks, boys. Geez, I love it. It is, Matty. He's been on a bloody ski on the way up, and he's been competitive, and he's been putting his body on the line. He did have some head. Did he have some head knocks, Matty, or early this year, or?
He had 2 concussions last year, so he had a really delayed start. In fact, he didn't touch the balls until about February of 2024. All of that summer was just running because of the head knocks, and then he copped another one during the year. So, it may have been these delayed kind of issues that have occurred, or maybe even just getting into his psychology that, like if I go in too hard, I'm going to get hit. Who knows where my career's headed? So, but I think, as you say, he's flicked the switch last month, and he's, most people are saying he's back in all Australian sort of form.
Yeah, no, fair call, boys. And I may have missed this bloke, number 27. Did I mention him? Fraser, from the boy from Horsham. He reminds me of a younger Bont. Can that make any sense? Bont's probably 27, 28. This kid's probably 22, 21. I don't know how old he is, but he's grown with confidence and belief, and the Baileys. Bailey Williams has been very good, number 34. And the other bloke, 31. Gee whiz, has he won a bit of footy and coming off half back? And I thought JJ was finished, and and he's running. You got him and Bailey running off half back.
Dougie, I love it, Matty. I love JJ's attitude. He was reported to have said, hey, I'm just going to do what I do. If the hammy goes, that's it. He's playing Russian roulette, but he knows it. He says, I'm going to play my game. If I don't, I'm not going to play well enough. So he's like, I saw him do that run in the middle of the ground on the weekend, and then he gave it, I don't know who he passed it to, Bailey Dale or someone, or Westy. And I thought it's going to go bang like a gunshot. But he's fantastic, isn't it? We've got him back, and that's great news. People love him in that team.
Yeah, he's almost like a flying DeLorean. Not only is he fast, he feels like he's gone back in time because he just picked up a gear like what he was doing in our premiership year. So what an amazing sort of backline to see those 3 running in such waves. And Dougie, you talk about Bailey Dale. So he broke the record of all time for Footscray Western Bulldogs players to hit the most possessions with 49 against the Bombers. That is off the charts, isn't it?
That's a lot of possessions, Matty. Paul. We all know that footy's different these days into the days of getting 43, 45, which is very hard to do, Matty. Only great players can get 43 possessions in a game and only get 2 votes in the Brownlow. But anyway, that's another story. There's a bloke who wore 51. His name was Michael McLean, got 3 votes. And number 7 got 43 possessions and got 2 votes. I wasn't dirty on that, but anyway, that's how it goes.
Well, I did look that up, Dougie, round 22, 1983. So
yeah,
we sense you might know that stat. Brilliant.
Yeah, and there was a lot of one-on-one stuff too, Matty and Paul. But anyway, we don't need to go down that track. But let's not rob Let's not rob Bailey Dale of his 49 possessions. I reckon Scotty West would have got 40-something, surely, did he?
Yeah.
What did he get? He would have got 40.
Scotty West and also Griffin got 47, and then you go
47.
Yeah, down to 47. And then you've got Jack McRae as well up there. So all of those, yourself included, have tipped the 43 plus bracket. So it's amazing.
And the other boy's going good, isn't he? The Booker.
Buku.
Yeah, Buku.
Buku. He's been all right, hasn't he?
Oh, what a fantastic thing. And this is what you talk about opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. So without Darcy and without Jamara, we had to fill a hole there. And he can also chop out in the ruck, but my God, can he leap? He leapt over the Suns defender a couple of weeks back, and now he's just sitting on the top of their heads.
Where do you see Norton, Port? Where do you see Norton, Port? Matty, where do you see him at the minute?
Good question. I think he's just trying to work himself out of poor form, Dougie. I think he's trying to work himself out of poor form. I think if you look at the positives, if you look at his branding and the way that he likes to present himself, he's probably falling a bit short. But like you said, Matty, you pull me up sometimes and say, mate, he's getting the ball to the ground. He's providing opportunities for West and Vandermeer, McNeil and all the smalls. He can do things when he's got the ball, but I think he's just got to work through it. He's probably the only player in the team that probably isn't playing to his potential. That's probably how I would rate Nordo.
Yeah, no, fair, Paul, very fair comment. I don't really need to add much more to that. I think he's trying, Matty. I think he's trying, and you boys know too, and I know, and our supporters know that sometimes you can try too hard, you can push yourself bloody too hard and go too hard, but he'll explode soon. I've got that little feel about him. He'll just open up and explode. We know his goal kicking ain't that great. But as long as he's competing and attacking the footy, that we want to see him attack the footy. But again, boys, overall, the last 4 or 5 weeks, the Dogs have been terrific. They've been super.
Just on Nordo for 1 second, watching Nordo, we might be being a little bit, or supporters might be being a little harsh on him, because on the weekend against the Bombers, for example, he had 11 score assists. Now, that's phenomenal. And, once he starts clunking those marks, because he's getting his hands to a lot of them, so that shows he's getting in the right positions. We know he can mark, so it's just a matter of time before they start sticking. And, my God, imagine when they start sticking.
No, you're right, Matty and Paul. And, the boy Darcy, he doesn't seem to be too far away, which I'm surprised. Is that what the mail is? Paul, Matty, is that the mail on young Darcy?
Yeah, he's due straight after the bye against the Hawks, or not long after that. So he's back. He's almost back.
That'd be fantastic too.
I'd like to see Nordo work his way through, and like you said, I don't think he's too far away, Dougie, but I'd love to see Nordo, without Darcy there, get a bit of form before. Obviously, Darcy's presence is going to help him out, Matty. But you're right. I reckon once he gets going, and if he stays within that 40-metre range where his kick is pretty good.
Yeah.
He'll kick his 4 or 5. Matty and Doug, just very quickly, Matty and I mentioned this before. This bloke called Cleary, Dougie.
Is that number 36? Is that 36? Yeah. He's all right, isn't he? Eh?
Just doing his job, mate, isn't he? He's just, you may not even know he's out there, just doing his job.
Who's the other boy, 29? Who's 29?
Bramble, yeah.
Bramble. He reminds of that kid, 24 and that 216, Biggs. He reminds me of that Biggs. They just keep going under the guard, a little bit like Mickey Egan back in the 80s when he played in that back pocket and did his job, and he beat Lee Matthews there a couple of times. And mate, you're right. These blokes, Cleary, who's number 30?
McNeil's 30. Yep.
Yeah, he goes all right. He goes all right. And you're right, Paul. Them blokes, we call them what you want to call them, sort of fringe players a little bit.
Role players,
and they're all doing their job and they're getting better, and they're doing, again, I'll say it might sound like a broken record, they're doing their job, what they need to do. Dogs are good. Dogs have been good. Real deal stuff.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely they are. Hey, boys, before we move into the tips, I wanted to throw a few quotes at you. And these
I love a good quote.
I'll give you a good quote, and this is from the last 12 months up until last week, all right? I want to see if you can guess who this quote is from, all right? Here's
all right. Give us a chance. All right, go for it.
All right, here it is. It's clear that the relationship is strange and change is needed. This is talking about Bevo and encouraging Bevo to be sacked. All right, who said that?
That sounds. Oh, that's Eddie Maguire. That sounds like Eddie Maguire, I reckon, Dougie.
Was that Eddie, was it?
Well, I reckon it sounds like him.
Oh, Caroline Wilson, was it?
Caroline Wilson.
It could have been both of them, believe it or not. Kane Cornes. It was Cornesy.
Oh.
Cornesy said it.
Cornesy.
Yeah, he wanted Bevo
That
out.
sounds too intelligent for him to say, but anyway.
Well, that's a bit of egg on face, you would say. At this
He's just got a thing, Matt. He's got a thing for Bevo, hasn't he? He's got a thing for him. I don't know what it is. He can't give him any praise.
Well, here we go. Just a second. Here's another one then. It's increasingly clear that Beveridge's coaching methods have fallen behind the league's best. This was in September.
Is that Gary Lyon?
Dougie?
He can be very...
No, it's not Gary.
Billy Brownless. Billy Brownless.
No.
Who is it, Matty? Who is it?
This one's actually Kane Cornes.
Oh.
Are you, these all Cornsies, are they?
Starting to see a trend here, Matty.
Well, let me give you one more then, all right?
Let's get it off your chest. Let's go.
Let's see if you can pick this one. Oh, defensive woes reflect Beveridge's disregard for the critical aspect of the game. Who said that?
That sounds like Jack Dyer. That sounds like an old, very old Lou Richards 1970s, 60s comment.
That sounds like Graham Cornes. The old
Does
man,
it?
was it? That's Kane's old man, was it?
Ah.
But it was actually Kane Cornes.
Do you like him, Matty? Do you like Kane?
I'm a huge fan of Kane, Dougie. Absolutely massive. I would love nothing more to invite him on this podcast. And Kane, if you're watching, come and join us. We'd love to have a chat.
I'll get him on, Matty, Paul, because I get along with young Kane pretty good.
Oh.
I don't mind. I don't mind his comments, and he's not scared to. Obviously, he's had a good crack at Bevo, but his comments about players, I don't mind it. I don't mind. He's been himself. He's been honest. If you want to get him on, Matty, I'll send the
Matty,
are
you gonna accept him onto the podcast, or are you going to take the Bulldogs North Melbourne policy?
No, you know what? I'll allow him to come straight in, Dougie. If you can get Kane Cornes in here, I would love nothing more than that. It'd be magnificent. Bring it.
All right. Live with me, Matty. Live with me, Paul.
Oh.
All right. Love that. Love that.
I love this segment, Matty. Can we do this segment again next week?
Okay, I love it. Love it. I've got an encyclopedia of Kane Cornes quotes, so we'll save them for next time. Now,
Kane Cornes segment.
Now we'd love to get to some tips because Dougie, you actually picked 4 out of the 5. Okay, Nostra Douglas was back. You picked all our 3 winners, and you said we were going to absolutely shellac the Bombers. That's exactly what happened.
No, you're right, Matty. I wasn't far out. I was pretty close to the mark.
Yep. Well, let's see how you go this time, Paul. What do we got?
Next 5 games. Dougie, we'll talk Geelong. Obviously, Thursday night I'm going. Can you tell us who wins that game? And can you tell us how the Bulldogs should view Bailey Smith? How should they view him? You've told us what should happen, but I'm feeling they don't really care about it. I think they're playing that well. They're so confident. I think he's a side story, but can you give us the winner for that, please, mate?
Well, no Dangerfield, boys. That's a big one, Matty. Paul, no Dangerfield. Been in terrific form, 35, 36, really playing like he's only 30 or 28-year-old. He's a huge loss for him. They're beatable now at their ground. As you know, in the past, Teddy Whitten played 21 years, never played in a winning game at Cardinia Park, as we called it back then. I played 18 years and won once. That was in 85. So between me and Teddy, we had 39 years and won once.
Wow.
Footscray could not win there, but it's all changed. And they can go there on the back of the form that they're in. Geelong are going good. Don't get me wrong. Geelong are going pretty well. The Smith factor could just fall over, Matty. Bevo's a smart operator. He'll put enough time into Smith that he needs to put into him. He won't overcook it. Why overcook it? Go and do your own thing. When you're in good form, play your own game of footy. We'll go there, and you know what? I just think the form that we're in, the Bulldogs, will get Geelong. I just reckon we'll get the Cats at their ground. So First up, boys, for me, I'm going with the Dogs to get the Cats.
Oh, that's music to my ears, Dougie. And I'm just trying to picture Bailey Smith there because he loves the spotlight, doesn't he? And I imagine he's going to be just ready for us. But good point. Do you agitate him? Do you send Vandermeer to agitate, or do you just say we're giving you absolutely no oxygen and no opportunity to sort of to thrive on that? You're not going to have our wave. And we just ignore him and get on with it. So I can't wait to see. It's a real sideshow, as Paul says.
It has Matty. Paul, he's a Brownlow medal, one of the Brownlow medal favourites, Bailey Smith. So he's in good touch, isn't he? We all knew he could play footy. We're not disputing that. We're dirty. He's not in the red, white, and blue colour. That's what I'm dirty on. The kid can play. So let's just make him have a real crap night, and we just give him a good touch up.
And quickly, how should the crowd behave, Matty and Dougie? What should we just no booing, just silence, or is it just good spirit of the game if there was a bit of a boo there?
Paul, you know me, I'm an old Braybrook boy. Let's boo the crap out of him. Let's give him hell.
No can throwing. No
supporters,
can
no throwing cans, no swearing, but just give Basilato Smith. Give him hell.
The red carpet. All right, Hawks. What do you think, Dougie? Hawks aren't as good as in song. They've got a few players missing, and we've probably got a little bit of we've probably got some wins to get there, haven't we? Because they've been throwing us around a lot in the last couple of years.
Yeah, we owe the Hawks from last year, don't we, boys? From the knockout final. They're going okay. Hawthorn. Where we got that, Matty? Where's that, Paul? That's at Marvel.
That's at Marvel. Yep, it is.
No, we'll get them, mate. We'll get them there. We'll get the Hawks there. We're on a roll. We're playing good footy. Hawks are going okay. We'll shop early, avoid the rush. There's 2 for me. 2 out of 2.
Somewhere along there, boys, Treloar will come into the team. I would have thought, Matty. What's your news on Treloar?
Yeah, Treloar's had a fitness test today. In fact, Treloar's back in full training, and if he doesn't come back the week straight after the bye, it will be the following one. But
he'll appear at some point in time in the next 5 games. Through the wonders of the AFL, Dougie, we play St Kilda again.
St Kilda again, and that'll be at Marvel, yeah?
Yeah,
that's right. Yep.
Yeah, he's funny, Ross Lyon, isn't he? I can't cop him. I can't cop Roscoe. I mean, good player, played at Fitzroy, tough. I reckon he coaches real negative. Mate, you got a group of young kids. Let them play footy. Let them go out there and create the game and take the game on. No. It just seems to me he just plays this down the line of the far wings, and mate, let them play footy. Let them take the game on. And you want to play like that, the Dogs will grab you. They're going to choke you. And again, here we go. There's 3 in a row for us, Paul, Matty. We'll beat the Saints.
All right, the following week, we play a team that's got nothing to lose. The mighty Tigers. Nothing to lose.
You don't barrack for them, Paul, do you?
No, I found out my brother did when they won the 2017 flag.
Did you?
Really? You barrack for Richmond? Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. No, they're come along. They've won 3 games, haven't they? 3 or 4 games, and they've got some good young talent down the track that's going to be very, very good for them in time, but not this time. I'm tipping the Dogs to win 4 in a row, Matty, Paul. And I'm really confident. I'm not doing it because of, I'm just saying it. I just think the form that we're in, the wheels of need have to fall off tragically, and we know that the boys can win with the Bont out of the side as well. And obviously they're way better when he's in the side. But 4 out of 4 for me, boys, the Doggies.
Hey, boys, with that Tigers game, do you rest anyone? Are you tempted to rest?
Nah. Paul, where you got hold of it and you're still going good, mate, just keep playing. Keep playing. I don't like seeing blokes get rested and that. Unless you're older blokes in their 30s or something, you've got to go fly over to Perth or something like that these days. But I don't like changing too much when it's going good. Just keep the good players, the older players going, and particularly the games in Melbourne. No changes for me. Just leave the Dogs the way the Dogs are going.
And tell you what, the last one, Dougie, I want you to think about.
Oh,
I
another
think
one.
this is in Sydney, Matty, you said. This is a team a bit like how you love to see Essendon thrashed, Dougie. This is a team I love to see lose. It's the mighty Swans. I love to see them get. I'm so happy at the moment that they've had this fall from grace. I think their coach Coxie was a bit too eager to get into that seat, and I think he gave Horse a bit of a shove. And they're saying they're like the Globetrotters. They rely on too much on their superstar, which is 3 or 4 of them, and it drops off from there. And I reckon they're about right.
Funny mob, Paul, aren't they? They're a funny mob, Matty. Sydney, you get them when they're hot. They can be very, very dangerous, as we know. But then when they're off, guess what? They're off. There's not a lot of in between. I think we just need, obviously, that game to be right on our ball from the start. We start well, knock them out of the contest early, keep that crowd in Sydney down, which can really be a bit of a plus for them to get their tails up. So we need to start very, very well, and I think we can do that. And we go there with that mindset. Let's begin the game well, put them on the back foot, get that crowd down, and we can win again. So this could be quite easily, Matty and Paul, 5 wins in a row. And this is not me I'm taking my Bulldog hat off, even though I've got my Bulldog hat on. We can win 5 out of 5 quite easily.
Wow. How good is that? So 11-4, you've got us, coming in at, Dougie. That puts us well and truly with an opportunity to get to secure top 2 even. So, and particularly with the back end of our season, we've got a lot of home games. We will play the Eagles. We play North Melbourne again. So and the Bombers, I think. So some really, really winnable games in the last 6 rounds. So wow, that's good news.
And by then, Matty and Paul, we'll know by then that Bevo has re-signed for 2 to 3 years. I would think that'll be done within the next 5 weeks. I don't have any problem with that. He's coaching great. He's coaching fantastic. He's back to that 2-16 sort of stuff, and the boys are playing for him, and they're playing for each other, which is so critical.
All right, boys. Thanks for letting host us.
Paul, good on you, Paul.
Dougie Hawkins, always magnificent. Thank you very much. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, all our listeners. Have a great week, and go the mighty Norton.
Go the Doggies.
In my heart, white in my veins, blue in one eye, red, white, and blue in my brain.